Finally something good! Hey everybody, and welcome to another movie night. I'm Jacqui. And today we are watching Masters of the Air episode 7. I stand by that this show has just gotten better and better and better the longer you watch. Now, you know what? I've stood by that this was a good show since episode 1, but I do also agree it builds, it just, I thought I grabbed my tissue box. I'm gonna have to grab my tissue box before I actually start filming this episode. I normally have a tissue box with me. Ever since Band of Brothers, I learned my lesson. But especially considering where we left off the last episode, I am a little bit nervous about what we're gonna see here. I cannot imagine that the conditions in a Nazi prisoner of war camp were all that great. So, I'm nervous about what we're gonna see, but I am excited after I finished the last episode. I was so annoyed that I had to wait to watch the next one, so I'm not gonna wait much longer and I'm gonna get into this. But as always, please don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. Drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this episode and this series. I've loved hearing your guys' thoughts, and of course, a lot of the historical context has made this a lot more enjoyable to watch. Redder is better, so hit what may or may not be a big red subscribe button depending on your browser, and check me out on Patreon for the full-length version of this reaction as well as all of my other content. If you're a fan of Band of Brothers, which I'm assuming you are if you're watching this, the entire series is available on Patreon, and I'm also watching The Pacific over there, so don't forget to check those out. Links to my Instagram and other socials are in the description box below. So with all of that out of the way, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you, and let's get into episode 7.
Stalag Luft 3 was run by the German Air Force, and because we had their downed pilots in our camps, they treated our boys humanely enough.
Don't give me Bastogne vibes, please.
Just going your way, Hammy.
Here, kitty. Yeah, I see her.
Looks like young Hugh Laurie.
There.
Aw, I swear to God, if you eat that cat.
Spare some water? What did you say was in the soup?
He didn't.
Don't ask.
Yeah, sure.
No.
Lots of stray rabbits running around under our combine.
Use the bucket.
What did I literally just say?
Brass is here.
Huh?
The Brits tried a night attack on Monte Cassino. Didn't go well.
Monte Cassino? Gardner's brother?
All right, fellas, let's go.
Hold it up, hide it. Oh, yep. Hide it.
Let's go. Wrap it up.
Oh, Dutch angle. Oh, that was a perfect A+ use of a Dutch angle. Efficient.
Solomon? That is a Jewish name, yes? Let's go.
Okay, this is starting to feel a little bit more like what I expected. Thump. These drums are going to be the death of me. Oh dear. Oh, Scheiße.
But they didn't get the headphone.
Well, thank God for small miracles.
Huh? You only got one piece? Ugh, that's still not comforting. Ugh, yep. All right. I am not terrified at all for this. That was a great little reference to Band of Brothers. Because I think I read in the blurb that this episode is heading into D-Day. Ugh, this music. And... I love right as it hits the crescendo in the opening, that's when we see Blake Neely's name. He's like, yeah, I'm the composer. I want my name over the most dramatic moment of this music.
More missions into Germany meant more casualties. More casualties meant more replacements.
That's enlisted men to my right and officers to my left.
Kids, man. You gotta be kidding me.
They're so little. These baby-faced kids.
Morning, gentlemen. I'm Captain Robert Rosenthal. I'm a pilot with the 418th. It's good to have you guys here.
Rosie.
We thought Sergeants Quinn and Bailey were among the many casualties over Regensburg, But thanks to the French and Belgian resistance,
Oh my God, they're
they were
back!
at Thor Babbitt's.
We haven't seen them in what, 2 episodes?
If a downed flyer made it out of occupied Europe, he wasn't allowed to fly any more missions. Because if a flyer got shot down again and was captured or tortured by the Gestapo, they knew too much about the escape routes.
Yeah, not a risk worth taking. Would have liked to have seen a little bit more of that journey, but not the point here.
It'll be good for you to show the new guys that 25 can really get done.
Dave Miner and his boys are at 24 too.
I heard he was the only pilot to make it back from Bremen out of 18 ships.
Yep.
Gotta be the luckiest man here, right?
And luck had very little to do with it. Rosie's the best pilot I've ever seen fly a B-17. You pray to God you can fly half as good as him, you might make it a 25 too.
Oh, these lights. These omens of death. These red lights.
Your crews don't stand down for this one.
I also stand by that Crosby is looking worse and worse every episode. He's getting thinner. We're seeing shadows under his eyes more.
You know, when I was a kid, I built a homemade crystal radio. Won't be as good as our old one, but might work good enough.
Okay, at least nobody got shot over it, that we can tell. Oh, dear.
Daylight raid this far east?
Yep, invasion of Europe is coming. It's one long take.
It's Berlin or its environs.
You hear that? It's Berlin. Hey, happy goddamn Monday, Addo.
It's gonna be rough up there. First daylight raid on the capital of Germany.
Oh,
The hell was that? That's a lot closer.
See, my first thought when I started hearing that was, are they going to start killing prisoners as a last resort? If they get to the point where they think they're about to lose, are they going to start killing prisoners?
Go back inside. Now. These goddamn goons are gonna take us out one at a time.
His little cheek cut. His perfectly aesthetic cheek cut.
As our missions piled up and became more perilous, it seemed that that damn red mission light never blinked off.
Yep.
We were always on edge.
Damn red danger light.
Every man on base held his breath as we waited to see just how dearly it would cost us.
There. I got him.
Yep. Cross is getting skinnier. Yep. Shadows of his eyes because he's stuck waiting at home. It's the stress of waiting at home.
5,
6, 7, 8.
Oh, I
9,
love this, that
10.
we're cutting between different people counting up. Oh, that's so great. Out of how many? Out of how many?
It's 15 down.
Yeah.
It's 150 men. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Check the weight! Casualties on!
Oh my god, the blood right there. Oh.
March 6, 1944 became known as Black Monday because of how many men were lost that day. 150 of them were from the 100th.
They took a direct hit in the cockpit. Miner and Kinsella must have been killed instantly. At least I hope for their sake they were. Then it nosedived. On their 25th.
Motherfuckers went after our guys in parachutes. They killed them all. Every last one of them.
We all needed to distract ourselves from the war. I decided to call Sandra. I told myself all I wanted was someone to drink and laugh with, but then I called her a second time, and a third.
Can't really blame him.
Here you go.
Incredibly resourceful. Gotta give him credit. My grandfather was a radio operator during the war, ham radios, and something he did his entire life.
Last letter I sent before Bremen, I popped the question.
You did?
She said yes. I was even thinking maybe you'd be my best man.
Don't say things like that right now, because that means you both have to get back.
I will be your best man.
Don't say things like that. Don't. I really, really would love for that to happen, but now I'm absolutely terrified that one or both of you is not making it back. I just...
Is he still at it?
He's got a few more to write, sir.
Crosby...
Oh, I'm just fine.
The Mars mission.
Berlin again?
Never ends.
Jack, it's the same route. It's exactly like yesterday.
I say that seems dangerous. It's literally telling them exactly where you're gonna be.
They don't care if they kill us all, do they?
Jesus. Pencil, graphite. Oh, this is... Safety pin. This is impressive.
Yankees trade DiMaggio?
The odds of getting out of here alive and in one piece is
30 to 1, 40 to 1, 51.
Yeah.
I don't have a plan yet, but I'll find one.
That makes me nervous.
The target for today is Berlin.
Jesus, that's the exact same route as Monday.
I don't think it's your turn to talk, honey. You may be right, but...
You're exactly right. But I am not a man to order anyone. On any mission, I won't fly myself. So I will be command pilot for the entire wing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Your main point of impact will be here, in the heart of Berlin.
Comforting. Ominous. So much.
We only had 15 planes left to send up. The exact same number the Germans shot down 2 days earlier. The odds were pretty bad for Rosie and his crew to make it back from their 25th mission.
She's A1, sir. And I'm sure you'll bring her back to me the same way.
Stop saying things that make me nervous.
You boys worry about the guns, I'll worry about the plane. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
God, I can't even imagine. I literally can't even imagine.
Our death, Hail Mary, full of grace. Our chances of defeating the Luftwaffe were increased by the introduction of the P-51 Mustang. Escorted by the Mustangs for the entire mission, the odds were starting to shift in our favor.
Little dolls. What are the dolls there for? I've never noticed those before.
Bombardier to pilot. We have fighters at 11 o'clock. Roger that. T-51's coming in fast.
I would like to comment so much on how well this is shot, but I just... There's no one thing I can point out right now. It's just across the board. We've never seen anything
Our
quite
fighters
like
are gonna
this.
punch us through.
Oh, this is so cool. The shot. Oh, the shot of all the fighters.
30 seconds to target. Copy. My ship.
Oh dear. Oh no, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this.
Bombs away.
Please don't get hit. Please don't get hit. Please, okay. Oh my god. The way that shot was right, I'm like, please do not get hit out of the corner of your eye. Like, please don't. Oh, these drums. These are good drums. These are triumphant drums. This is a good beat. Oh, this is triumph. This is triumph right here. They fucking did it.
There. 14-1 down. Anyone seen
It's the first time the drums haven't made me nervous. They made me happy. Here we go. Here we go.
You did it, Rosie. We did it. 25. We're going home.
Last chance to buzz the tower.
Yeah. Come on.
Last chance, gotta take it.
Hey, how about that?
Finally, something good. Finally, something good.
I said, hey, Betty. Here we go. You're going to want to paint those ceilings your favorite color, because you're going to be seeing a hell of a lot of them once I get home.
Jack, why so blue, huh?
What, you gonna miss us that much?
Oh no, you're not leaving. You're not leaving. You're not leaving. Don't you fucking...
Brass is upping the end of tour requirements from 25 to 30 missions.
Are you kidding me?
What?
You motherfuckers!
Only for new replacement crews coming after next week.
Oh my god, oh my...
Any crew in between will have to make 28. You and your boys are off the hook, Rosie.
Okay. That's still wrong, but oh my god. Can you imagine Rosie being told that at his celebration party? Oh my god, that... I was about to build a time machine and go back and punch the brass.
At least you'll make it out of this fucking war alive. I mean, changing the rules on us mid-game? That's bullshit, Jack.
They're running out of people.
They want us all to fucking die up there, and no one gives a shit. No one.
Can't blame him.
I have missed you terribly. And I just want to know where you've been.
Do you want to know where I've been? Or do you want to know where I will be? In 20 minutes.
Listen to the lyrics, I'm curious.
I can't have another.
He has another, I can't have another. I'm not free. She married too?
It's conduction. Maybe there's some glue residue or oil or dirt or something getting in the way of the current. I think... Yeah, I got something.
Look at you!
Yesterday, Berlin took the heaviest bombing of the war.
The repeated strikes on Berlin took a tremendous toll on the 100th. It had become clear that it was no longer enough just to drop bombs on our target. We had to completely destroy the German Luftwaffe.
Yeah.
My friend Rosie understood this very well, but he had completed his 25th mission.
But?
And now, he could go home.
Could. But will he? Stop triggering with my emotions. The ups and downs of this episode. The up and down and back and forth. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Some news, boys.
Okay.
Brits in North Compound built 3 tunnels.
Andy Dufresne.
70, maybe 80 men made it out.
80?
Colonel believes there'll be severe reprisals.
The hell am I rushing back home for?
You get a letter, you need someone to get it from.
I don't like this. I don't like this foreshadowing.
We'll plenty of time for that when you get out.
I stop saying when you get I don't like this foreshadowing. I don't like it.
Most of the escapees have been recaptured. But I regret to inform you that 50 of the recaptured escapees have been executed.
Shocking.
There are orders for me to take an inventory of all Jewish prisoners of war at Stalag Luft 3.
There are only Americans in Stalag Luft 3, Major Simulite. Only Americans.
So what do you think the odds are now?
Of us making it home alive? Very, very low.
I have very, very bad feeling about Bucky's odds of survival. Too much foreshadowing. It's making me nervous.
You want to re-up?
Yep. Rosie.
Captain, you know the tours of duty have been extended to 30 missions.
Yep.
Yes, sir, I do.
Rosie. So much respect.
But don't you want to go home?
How could I sleep at night knowing I get to go home while the brass up their numbers mid-tour?
We're pushing in on it, yeah.
I can't imagine some rookie coming to take my place, getting himself and his crew killed on their first mission. Then he gets replaced by another replacement, and over and over and over again. I can't go home. Not until the job is done.
So much respect for this man.
General Doolittle has ordered the air strategy to shift radically.
Okay.
The invasion will not and cannot occur till the Luftwaffe is destroyed.
Yeah.
And we can do that now with the new P-51s, which outflies and outperforms every plane the Luftwaffe can throw at us. But to shoot them down, we need to get them in the air.
We have to draw them out.
With bombers as the bait.
Oh my god.
Our bombers. That's the mission.
I understand.
He's gonna do it anyway.
We could use a new commanding officer for the 350th.
Yeah, I'm up for it.
I don't think there's anyone that deserves it more.
Thank you, Colonel.
Why did I have a feeling he was gonna do something like that? Okay, alright. So the answer is no, I will not be getting an episode anytime soon where I'm not crying. They call it Black Monday, Bloody Monday. that whole sequence. Yep. That they did a really, really great job with that because we had these two parallel bomb raids, which were the exact same route. It was the exact same flight. And so to show us the opposite ends of the spectrum, so they showed us both versions of what can happen. The first is the worst, people literally coming up with their bad things happen to them, burned and horrifying. But then to have the exact contrast when you go into it expecting something like that again, but to have the other side of it, or where the planes come back and Rosie comes back and you get to have this triumph, and the difference in the music in that moment, because it was a different tempo, it was a different rhythm. That's the word I was looking for. It was a different rhythm to the drums. It was a different tone to the music. So for the first time, that pulsing, it wasn't just a heartbeat pulse, like a horror movie that's designed to elevate your heart rate and make you nervous. It's a triumphant beat. So that was, I needed that. I needed that so much. But to then find out, it does not surprise me based on Rosie's character that he would stick around. That doesn't surprise me. And the fact that we found out he got out, the fact that he finished his 25th mission halfway through the episode, and then we find out at his celebration that it's getting extended later. You could see it. I don't know the actor's name. The actor is fantastic who plays Rosie. I'll have to look up his name. But his performance in that moment, you could see the gears in his head. You could see I don't know if guilt is quite the right word, but this determination in him and this sense of duty and honor of just, I can't leave. I can't abandon this man. And watching this other guys, I don't know his name, having this meltdown of saying they don't care about us. They really don't care about us, which was foreshadowing for the fact that they are now using them as bait. The word They really, really love their foreshadowing in this show, and it's perfect. Again, the tone of this show for each episode and for the entire series is a buildup of drama, and how you build drama is not just with pulsing music and tension and things like that. It's with foreshadowing. It's giving hints to the audience, whether they even realize it or not, of what's coming, and then giving you payoff on that. And so having a moment where this guy, in a completely different context, is saying they don't care about us, to then find out that was a reference to the fact that they're going to be used as bait, that's just such great writing. And it's what has given this series so much drama and so much tension, is when those things pay off, when that happens, you see the elements of foreshadowing, you see the little breadcrumbs that they've dropped for you leading up to that point that build up to this dramatic moment, because that moment is not dramatic without that. I've had people actually ask me in previous videos, as a slight tangent, but I've had many movies and shows that I've watched in the past where I was able to pick up on where they were going with it based on cues like foreshadowing and audio cues and visual cues and things that they set up in the writing. And I would get comments from people saying, there's no way you haven't seen this before. You already knew it was going to happen. And that's funny. Like, I understand. I genuinely understand. I've shared comments about this and had friends from film school say, yeah, my boyfriend or my friend couldn't believe I knew what was going to happen. And I've addressed that. I respond with, it's just learning to pick up on these cues. And I had someone ask me, if you can pick up on that, if you know what's coming, does that make it bad writing? And my response to that is no, that's what makes it good writing, because if those pieces aren't there, the payoff isn't worth it. You need those to have the experience. It's just that, and I don't mean this to sound pretentious, it's just a general thing, that 99.9% of audiences are never going to pick up on those things. They're not going to actively, as they're watching, say, that's what he said, that's what the foreshadowing, that's the this thing. Most people wouldn't, because most people aren't looking for it, and that's fine. That's what makes the experience. But when you know what to look for, you can start seeing them, and those pieces, when you see them, you realize that's what makes it better, that's what makes it good. And so the amount of foreshadowing in this series is just, oh my God, it's everywhere. But it's really well done, but it's also what makes me nervous when I see scenes between Buck and Bucky of Buck saying, I asked her to marry me, I want you to be my best man. When somebody says something, this is such a trademark thing, when somebody says something about the future in a series or in a movie where their lives are in jeopardy, that is such a hallmark of one of you is going to die. And the building on that of, I don't know if we're going to get out of here alive, Bucky saying, nobody's writing to me, you have to have someone to get back to you. Like, these nuggets, these breadcrumbs that they're dropping are hinting. Because the problem is that sets you up for something good. You now want to see that. As audience members, as viewers who are invested in this, who are attached to these characters, and we're watching them in these horrible situations, we want that moment. So now we have this image in our minds of Buck getting married and Bucky is his best man and them surviving and this beautiful, happy ending, this future that they get to have. We as an audience have now created that image in our minds, and we're looking forward to that. And how do you create tragedy? How do you create emotion? How do you create the weight of the loss in these? You take that away. So that is how you foreshadow, and that's how you build drama. That's how you build tragedy. And so it's why I'm nervous for Bucky. But this continues to be beautiful. I love that scene where Rosie is talking about why he has to stay and the camera starts pushing into him. Again, it's a very, very small, subtle thing, but we're getting closer. It's getting more intimate. We are focusing more and more in on him, so it's adding weight to what he's saying. The shots of the fighter pilots coming in, we haven't seen anything quite like that before. And so us looking out from these pilots' perspective and seeing this massive force coming to support them, that was a really beautiful shot and a great way to build up the victory that we're about to have. And yeah, there were just some really great moments. This series, I stand by it. This series is great. It absolutely is. And I am terrified for how it's going to end. We are very much in the final third. We're in Act 3 of the series, and that makes sense because we've got 9 episodes. So 1 through 3 are Act 1, 4 through 6 are Act 2, and then 7 through 9 are Act 3. And each one is going to have its own identity. It's going to have its own sort of action. The first 3 episodes were very much, we're establishing what these raids are like, what these bombing missions are like, what are the stakes. The second act is very much, we're seeing the tragedies, we're seeing people get lost, we are seeing now what can happen when they do go down. And then the third act is very much the climax of, I said this in episode 5, I think, that it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Every episode, this holding just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. So my fear is since this is 9 episodes, this next episode is going to be the sort of climax, this worst it can possibly get. We're going to have that massive, massive moment of climax, and then the final episode is going to be the fallout and the resolution. Because if you look at the structure of Band of Brothers, that was 10 episodes, but episode 9 was very much this climactic moment. 8 was, you had this build up through Bastogne, but then 9 was the mass tragedy. That was the one that, if you guys have seen my reaction to it on Patreon, it'll be here on YouTube pretty soon. I lost it. I was incoherent after that, but that was the heaviest moment, and that was the climax of why we fight, of this is what we've been building to. And then the final episode was the resolution of the war's almost over. Now what do we do? Who survived? Who didn't? What's the fallout? So my fear with this is we've now set up going into that climax. We now have Buck and Bucky talking about, do we try to escape? Do we stick around? We have Rosie acknowledging that he's going to stay and he's going to fight, and they are now being used as bait. We're leading into D-Day. We're leading into that European invasion, and they're building it up so much, and my God, it makes me terrified for episode 8. I mean, 9 is going to be hard, I imagine, in its own way, but just from a narrative perspective, I am not ready for episode 8. It's going to fuck me up royally. I'm ready, but anyway, I think that's going to be it for episode 7. It was great. It was a lot. It was heartbreaking. It was beautiful. I have all the respect in the world for Rosie Rosenthal. He is, I don't want to call him the Winters of this series, because you don't really have, it's not quite fair to compare them. And I don't ever want to compare to Band of Brothers in the sense that that's just not a fair comparison, because obviously Buck has sort of been the leader of this, but then you also have Crosby, who's the narrator, so he's arguably more of a protagonist. Like this is very much an ensemble for sure, but Rosie has that incredible leadership quality and has that honorable, respectable nature to him, and respect the hell out of him for it. So on that note, I'm going to leave it there, and I will see you guys for episode 8. But as always, please don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. Drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this episode, on this series. Are you ready for the last 2 episodes? Are you as terrified as I am? Redder is better, so hit what may or may not be a big red subscribe button depending on your browser, and check me out on Patreon for the full-length version of this reaction as well as all of my other content. Again, if you're a fan of Band of Brothers, the entire series of Band of Brothers is on Patreon and also dropping along here on YouTube, and I'm watching The Pacific over on Patreon, so don't forget to check that out. Links to my Instagram and other socials are in the description box below, so with all of that out of the way, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.